Well, we are back for our last chapter. This is chapter 5, and it only seems fitting that it would end this way. Be someone's miracle. We talked a whole lot about how we can be receiving something and receiving blessings, and it was kind of all about us, right? Well, there's more to it. You need to be someone else's miracle, and you're thinking, well, how can I be someone's miracle? I'm not God. See, sometimes a miracle is just a hug. Sometimes it's a supportive word, an encouraging word, because you don't know what's going on in that person's life, and that may be the very thing to bring them up from the very bottom in their life. So oftentimes we find ourselves praying for a miracle. There's like, please send me this, please give me this, I need this, I need a miracle. What we have to realize, yes, God can do that. But we have to realize that we can be the miracle that some of these prayers are about. And sometimes a person's praying for a friend. Just they want a friend, someone they can talk to and feel loved by. And God uses people. He uses us, our hands to touch those who need healing, our arms when they need a hug, our voice when they need an encouraging word. He uses you and I as tools. So there's going to be times when people will be brought across your path, and hopefully you have the discernment to know that you have the opportunity to reach out and make a difference in some way for them. And you may not even realize it, but you are a miracle. You are a miracle waiting to happen for someone. It could be someone who's just lonely. It could just be someone who's in depression that just needs another voice, not someone they've been hearing from forever. It could be someone who needs prayer because they got a bad medical report. You could be that word of encouragement. You could be that support. You could be that void. You could be that little tiny miracle that makes all the difference in the world. So take time to become that miracle. Be aware of who's in your life. They're not there by accident. I've always said that. Because you're full of miracles, there is an actual healing in you. There's restoration. There's friendship and relationships. There's new beginnings. Life is so much more rewarding when you realize you can be the answer to someone's prayer. Isn't it nice to have a purpose? You can lift the fallen. You can restore the broken. You can be kind to a stranger. You can be someone's God wink. You can be someone's miracle. He shared a story here that his brother was a surgeon, and his surgeon would go to Africa very often and operate on the needy people. And it was way, way back in the middle of nowhere. It was in a remote village, and there was really not a lot there to help. And one day, a young man came into the clinic, and he had literally been gored by an elephant tusk right through his midsection. His brother took him back into the makeshift operating room to hopefully spare his life. The problem was there was no blood in the blood supply, which would enable to replenish this man. So his brother could have simply said, there's nothing I can do. We don't have any blood. It's just not your lucky day. But before his brother operated, he took 30 minutes and he gave blood. He gave the miracle. He operated on the young man and replenished the blood the man had lost with his own blood. What was he doing? He was becoming a miracle. He could have prayed, God, he's in bad shape. He needs a miracle. But his brother realized he's the miracle. He can make this happen. So we all know that God can do great things, and we know God can do miracles. But what I don't think we realize is he puts the miracles in us too. So there's going to be times you may be an answer to someone's prayer and you're thinking, really? Once upon a time, a long time ago, I had told my brother that, this is many years ago, I lived in another state. I told my brother that I put money aside like a tithe, and I said, I don't want anyone to know where it comes from, but when you have a family in need, come to me, see what I have, and we'll go from there. So he comes to me one day, he says, I don't know what you've got, but I've got a family who doesn't have a refrigerator. I was able to provide money so they could have a refrigerator. They never knew where it came from. I never wanted anyone to come to me and feel grateful to me. I just wanted them to know God heard them and took care of them. And I never thought about it till this very minute. I was their miracle. How cool is that? That is so cool. So, if we all had the attitude, I am a miracle waiting to happen, what kind of world would this be? Wow. I've heard it said sometimes we don't need a miracle, we just need one another. Well, that one another means that there's a miracle inside of each one of us to give. That's pretty cool. So, sometimes little miracles like there was a story shared where this guy he grew up very poor. He didn't have the best of language even, um, and yet he was in a college and he was had a roommate, and his roommate said, "You've got to, if you're going to be a journalist, this was his dream. You're going to have a better vocabulary. You don't know enough words." So his friend started working with him on a daily basis to teach him better words, to have more words. And you know what? He was blessed by doing that. He was this guy's miracle, not knowing that he was being a miracle. And today, this young man works for a major network and is one of the most prestigious news programs and reporter. Yeah. So we can be that miracle. And you may be going, I don't want to read about being a miracle. I need a miracle. Well, here's the key. If you will become the miracle, God will always make sure you have the miracles you need. As long as you're sowing the seeds, the right people, the right opportunities, and the breaks you need will be in your future. God will get you to where you're supposed to be. And that's what it is. That's the way it is. In Proverbs, it says, when you refresh others, you will be refreshed. If you want your dream to come to pass, help someone else's dream come to pass. If you need a miracle, become a miracle. When you take time to invest in others, the seeds you sow will always come back to you. Wow, that's pretty cool. So just remember, you are full of miracles. I like this. This was a little story, and I think that people do this, especially in the bigger cities where things are not as warm and fuzzy. You can tell I'm from the South, right? Jesus told a parable in Luke 10 about a man who was walking down a road when he was attacked and beaten by bandits. They left him on the ground almost dead. In a little while, a priest came by. He saw the man from a distance and thought, boy, he's in bad shape. He sure needs a miracle. I'll be praying for him. He kept on going. Then another man came by, a Levite or an assistant to the priest, who did a little better. He went over to the man, checked him out, and felt sorry for him. He thought, this is really unfair. I hope somebody helps him, and went on down the road. Then the third man, a Samaritan, came by. Like the first two, he thought he sure needs a miracle, but he took one step farther and he said, you know what? I am his miracle. I'm at the right place at the right time. God put him in my path so I can be a healer, so I can be a restorer, so I can give him a new beginning. The Samaritan went to him, got down on his knees, and began to care for him. He gave him water from his canteen, and he took off his scarf, and he bandaged his wounds. The Samaritan then gently lifted him off the ground, placed him on his animal, and helped him mile after mile as they walked to the nearest city. When they got to the local inn, he prepaid the owner and said, take care of him. Let him stay as long as he would like. Give him anything he needs, and I promise that when I come back, I'll pay for any extra expenses. So my question is this: which man are you? It's easy to get so busy and think, I don't have time to help others. I have my own problems. But helping others can be the key to turn your own situation around. Because remember, I talked about commanded blessings. You're upgrading your power. Yes, you're upgrading your expectations, and you are powering up by being someone else's miracle. And then God, of course, can reward you. So when you get down low to lift somebody up, in God's eyes, you can't get any higher. I think that is so beautiful. The closest thing to the heart of God is helping hurting people. When you take the time to restore the broken, you pour the healing oil on their wounds and encouraging them, wiping away their tears, letting them know that that there are new beginnings. That is what we talk about. Wow. Jesus said it's the sick who need the doctor, not the healthy. So pour out that healing oil. And just know, there was another story they shared very quickly. I will share this. There was a very popular Christian singer named Tammy that had gone on a little trip, an island for a vacation to celebrate their anniversary. And her husband was a very skilled diver, and he would go underwater without air tanks for 6 or 7 minutes at a time. So they went to the beach, and she stayed on the beach, and he went and did what he always does. But after 10 minutes, she kind of got a little concerned about him because he always would come up in 6 or 7 minutes. Well, then about 20 minutes, still no sign. 30 minutes, she still didn't see him. And so she called the authorities. She was so upset and so scared. And unfortunately, they did find his body the next day. Now, she's in a foreign country. She's totally in shock. Her parents are immediately trying to get flights out, but there's the problem. This happened the day after September 9, 2001. So it was 911, right? So the next day, I'm sorry, the problem is it all happened on September 10. The next day was 911. And so all the flights were grounded. And Tammy was there for days by herself. I can only imagine being in a foreign country, not knowing anyone, and my husband's died. That's pretty scary. And so she was alone. And she was crying one day in her hotel room, waiting for someone to rescue her, basically. And there was a Jamaican housekeeper who came in and said, I don't mean to get in your business, but when I was cleaning the room next door, I couldn't help but hear you crying through the walls. And I was wondering if there's anything I could pray with you about. And Tammy told her what had happened. The housekeeper put her loving arms around Tammy and held her as though it was her own daughter. That moment, thousands of miles from home, Tammy knew that God was still in control. The housekeeper took the time to be a healer. She was sensitive to the needs around her, even hearing the cries from another room. She knew one reason she was here on this earth was to help wipe away the tears. She poured the healing oil on Tammy's wounds. She became a miracle. Showing people that we care. We get so busy in this world of, I think we're just trying to survive, and especially right now. But stop and show you care. Be that restorer, be that refresher person. I think if we would just stop and realize what something little can do for people. I don't think we ever realize even what a hug can do for people. Sometimes just a hug is such a comfort. I don't think we know the power in that hug. But just remember that God has put a healing in you. And it could be something you say. It could be an action. It could just simply, you're just there. You're just there. You can tell people that they're amazing, that you're praying for them and uplift them. I know it's great to receive a miracle. There's no greater feeling than to become one. Who are you carrying? Who are you lifting up? Who are you helping to cross that finish line? Your destiny is connected to helping others. Isaiah put it this way: when you feed the hungry, when you clothe the naked, when you help those in need, then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will come quickly. So if you make it your business to become a miracle, God will make it his business to give you a miracle. You will never lack his blessings in abundance. Wow. You can give a rescuing hug this week. You can help a friend across the finish line. You are the miracle they're believing for. So when you go out each day, have the attitude, I'm a miracle waiting to happen. If you will not live, if you will live not thinking about how you can get a miracle, but how you can become a miracle, then just as God promised, your light is going to break forth like the dawn. Your healing, your promotion, and your vindication will come quickly. Oh my goodness, what a great chapter. What a wonderful chapter. I love it. I hope you guys have enjoyed these 5 chapters. It's such a little tiny book. It's called the Abundance Mindset, and I have enjoyed this so much. We've actually, with my little team, we we're on our last chapter tonight. We're doing like a book study and like a book club, I guess. And so I thought, how neat would it be to share this with you guys? So I hope you've enjoyed it. And I cannot tell you enough how much I appreciate you watching this. And I hope you will be blessed, and I hope you will go and bless others.